Hello my anime lovers! Today we are going to talk about Sakurasou no Pet na Kanojo Season 1. It's a 24 episodes anime about a girl who can take care of herself, so she lets a guy put her panties on for her. It's a really nice show and I sense GC staff is slowly getting their grow back. It's a romance show with a bit of drama. Let's go on! The anime is about the residents of a dorm called the Sakurasou. It's a place where delinquents are placed instead of having them in the common dorm rooms. The place has a bad reputation among the students, and Sorata Kanda has the miserable choice of living there so he can keep his pet cat. Sakurasou certainly had a lot of eccentric people living in it, and Sorate felt that he just doesn't want to live here anymore. He decided to leave Sakurasou as soon as possible, and more residents moved in thought. He is soon reminded why staffing at Sakurasou isn't such a bad thing. Surprisingly, here is another shoujo anime you can add from the fall lineup. This one was done by CG staff, who once lead the pack when it comes to all things shoujo. The mood revolution shoved them out of the loop, but you can just feel a big comeback from this anime. As for Sakurasou no Pet Kanojo, it started out bumpy, but this anime is really good. It's emotionally charged and the romance was good. The different thing is how they balanced the story though. It lacked some focus, but it made up for it with a lot of heart. My first impression of the anime were a bit bad because it kinda felt rushed and I wasn't able to exactly determine what the anime was about. Some people often point out an anime starts slow, therefore it sucks. Well, this anime tried to overcome that hurdle. It started out light-hearted with an eccentric of the Sakurasou house, serving comedy and some fan service on the side. After 2 episodes, though, the show suddenly got heavy. With little characters introduction, the show suddenly started talking about the personal matters of the characters and the tension on their relationships. I was a bit surprised because we're still in that phase where the characters are generating archetypes, but the anime was already dropping serious moments and dramatic scenes after 4 episodes. The rest of the first half didn't mean much as well. The show has ikai, comedy, romance, and some harem elements playing against each other. Funny episodes would often have harem moments, and it would end with a sad scene. I'm not really sure what I am getting from this anime aside from some model plot points. There was one thing I'm pretty sure about. The title of the anime is about Shiina Mashiro, the new resident of the house, who is a complete beauty but lacks the everyday energy to provide for herself. The mere task of bathing and putting on panties is out of her reach. She depends on people to get her through the day. She depends on the main character, Sorata Kanda. This was the appeal of the show. It's about a blondie, sexy girl depending on a normal guy to dress her and take care of her. She is basically his pet. The motivation she lacks in putting on her panties is actually consumed by her drive to be good at art, or in the case, drawing manga. So, a very talented mangaka artist with stunning looks is depending on someone else to provide for her. There is something very sexy and wish-fulfilling about that. As I said before, though, the first episode for the anime was a bit confusing. I can't tell if this is a plot point of the anime or not. It's cream alone, with other things like a growing harem, some love stories among the characters, talking about the future, talented people crushing the hopes of hard-working people, and the bitterness of life as you live it. As far as per episodes, then the formats of the anime does work. In a weekly basis, you get a lot done even without little direction, but the show seems to be dragging its story instead of develop it. As the first half of the anime progresses, we get a glimpse on the relationship of the characters. The show also dumps in new characters and new conflicts as it rolls along. The eventual plot points started to take shape and the characters are slowly introduced. The status quo, the setting and the everything started to make sense as the anime entered its second half. The first half laid the groundwork, despite my messy progression, and we get the glimpse of what the anime was leading into. There are 3 plot points in the anime. These plot points are slowly focused on by the anime as it entered the second half. It was presented very loosely in the first half alone, with some fan service and harem moments, but the build-up of these plot points was given more purpose in the second half. The first plot point is about the various romantic relationship of the characters. There were 2 main love stories that were nicely told by the anime. First, it's about the triangle between Shiina Mashiro, Sorata Kanda, and Nanami Aoyama. Sorata looks up to Shiina because of how she dedicates her life to her craft without skipping a beat. All the while he was taking care of her, he slowly finds a soft spot for the girl that might lead to something big. It might if Shiina wasn't such an airhead, but could there be a change that she might be thinking of Sorata too? Meanwhile, Nanami has known Sorata since they came classmates, and she thinks he is a cool guy after taking in an abandoned cat in the streets and went as far as going to the delinquent dorm just to keep it. As the anime progressed, the feelings gradually intensifies and the moment got a lot of sweeter. The other love story is the one about the crazy energetic gabe named Misaki Kamiigusa and her childhood friends and acclaimed playboy Jin Mitaka. This one was a bit matured for the light-hearted nature of the anime, and I'm a bit fan of it. They have a really complicated relationship, brought upon by both of their reluctance of stupidity that drags on until they are adults. Well, a certain event has now called for both of them to take charge of the opportunity of lose each other forever. There was something really bittersweet about this one, and again, mature for its looks after the details of their relationship is great explored. It's a lovely story about how saying I love you is not longer enough. The second plot point of the anime is about the bond of characters have living in Sakurasou. There were a lot of personal conflicts and arguments pushed out in the anime, but the residents look out for each other and they give advice when someone needs it. They have a happy bunch of eccentric people that welcomes both the good and the bad time together. The comedy aspects of the first half didn't make sense at first, until you realize the anime was displaying how close the residents are to each other. Their bond is eventually put through the good cheaper after a big trouble comes their way that threatened to break. Their bond is eventually put through the good cheaper after a big trouble comes their way that threatened to break the bond they cherish. The third plot point is about the character chasing after their dreams or careers, or realizing their future. Some experiences the sweet kiss of victory because of their amazing talent, while others face the bitterness of life as they stand in defeat. This was a very beautiful aspect of the anime because it really embraced the good and bad. There were some characters that sacrificed a lot just to reach their dreams, only to be deemed not good enough, while others lives on with the fact that they can never be as good as the other person no matter how hard they tried. It's pretty good because we've all been there. I personally felt the bitterness of rejection, while someone is forced to slide, got what I was aiming for all, because she is a half-born American with big boots, despite being only 17 years old. Yes, the anime nicely demonstrates the unfairness of life in a very distinct way. A lot of things were rushed in the anime, but not this one. It doesn't really need a lot of exploration because people understand that life is a bit unfair and have come to live with it. The sad realization of the fact makes up for some great drama scenes, though. The characters are the biggest sells of the anime. The first half was a bit messy, but the characters really carried the load. All of them start out pretty energetic, but the show gave them enough time to really transform. There were some characters that really made a lot of changes as the anime progresses, and I really admire that. Sorata and Shiina at first did nothing impressive because they remind me of a certain blue-haired Dampa girl that claims to be an alien and her cousin. They're too slowly transformed though. Shiina doesn't stay as an airhead for long, and Sorata doesn't remain as a bumbling idiot crushing hard on an oblivious girl. The various person conflicts the anime presents really did a lot to change the characters. Some of them even broke up on their archetype to show just how fully rounded they are. This energetic girl would soon show her vulnerable side. This scaring shut up could soon start showing her caring side. This playboy would reveal he isn't actually a stick to one guy, and many more surprises that can really change your perception of the characters. There were a lot of side characters, but they didn't their role pretty well. I am guilty of wanting to see more of the side characters like Sorata's classmate or the fellow painters in the art club Shiina is in. These characters did their role well though, and the anime was able to give them some appropriate time to shine. This anime starts off a bit questionable with a sad attempt of drawing viewers in with harem, comedy and other things, but that really affected the value of the story. I'm just glad it was able to bounce back up come the second half, but there were still some flaws in the anime. For one, it wasn't able to balance all three plot points. They might as well be three separated stories because one plot point of get thrown down for another to shine through. There is a way to nicely balance all three of them if the anime established them clearly early on. The anime ends without no all three plot points getting a decent progression. It either will get another season or isn't in an extra OVA episode. I'm hoping for the former. The story lacking balance was not that bad though, because there were enough emotional moments in the anime to make up for it. There were some really good romances scenes in the anime and even better dramatic scenes that can really suck you into the story of the anime. This is admirably harder than balancing the story, so I'll give the anime a pass. It's a really good anime despite its flaw. The character design is pretty amazing. The details of the characters are really nicely done, and I love how pretty their faces are. I am a big fan of Shiina especially. She has blonde hair and lovely red eyes that really complements her personality. She also has a nice body that delivers some pretty decent fan services. The rest of the girls also had some nice features to them. They look a bit generic at first, but their look complements their personality as well. The boy really has a nice range in the anime, from normal ones to bitches. There were a lot of different looks in the anime. JC staff did a good job of really animating the shoujo appeal of the anime through the characters. What do you expect for the guy that did Kimi to Boku? I am a big fan of the bright color palette of the anime. It's really give a nice look to the characters and a relaxed atmosphere for the anime. The nice fades look of the colors also help animate the shoujo appeal of the anime. The fan services in the anime was pretty decent. The naked bodies of the characters looked nice and the various sekai moments were decent. Shiina loves not wearing panties and letting Sorata thaw her delicates. I'm also a fan of those scenes where the girls would get their clothes wet and their colorful bra would show. It's something a perverted young me used to enjoy seeing. Don't judge me, please. There were also some nice bikinis and the standard bathroom scenes in the anime. I believe the anime could live without it, and I think it did hurt the anime in the long run. The animation was really decent. There was a lot of running and rolling around in the anime, and the animation was able to capture the crazy antics of the characters. There isn't any standout moments in terms of animation thought aspects of the CG battle scenes in the middle parts of the anime. The CG idols blended with a fade look of the anime. As for formal scenes, the animation only stood out during various kissing or hugging scenes. The various comedy scenes had some decent animation as well. I am also a fan of giving a nod to King of Fighters. The characters would often play video games that involve SNK characters that I am a big fan of. The anime has 2 OP and 2 ED. The first OP is Kimi ga Yume wo Surete Kita by Pet Nakanojo Taki, A Kanojo Mariko Nakutsu Natsumi Takamori. This was sung by the girl of Sakurasou. The boys really blend well together, and I love how they were able to deliver their standout voices. It's nice to hear the lovely voices of the voices actors breaking out of their character voice. The song is really sweet and it was a cheerful vibe to it that complements the lovely voice of the singer. The OP sequences is about the normal everyday lives as Sakurasou, with the characters being happy and doing random things together. The second OP is Yume no Suzuki by Konomi Suzuki. Again, lovely voice of the singer. The song doesn't do much to me though. It sounds like a standard OP song for the anime but with a really talented singer doing their singing. The OP sequences features all the characters and the various relationship scenes. It was heavily explored in the second half. The first edit song is Day of Dash by Konomi Suzuki. I remember Konomi Suzuki singing the Ritter Jill song from Dusky Maiden of Amnesia. Her voice doesn't sound really nice and it sounds mature despite her age. The song sounds really nice and her voice really stands out. It starts out slow and then picks up beat as it hits the chorus. It's very lovely song. The ED sequence features a drawn background with no colors and heavy shadings. In the foreground, there is Sorata with the picture on his shirt by the only thing colored. As it hits the chorus, the scene started to be more colored and the various characters running started to gather. It ends with Yaboron fighting in the background and the characters laying in the grass. The second ED is prime number Kimi to the Auru High by Asuka Okura. This was the very first single Asuka has done, so that is pretty awesome. The song was decent, it has a nice pace to it, and it ends pretty lovely. The ED sequence features the characters showing their heart as the song rolls along. Toward the end, even the house starts swaying side to side. And this is all the analysis for today. I hope you liked the video and give us a like, share the video with your friends, subscribe to our channel and join with us for next videos. Goodbye my anime lovers!